I'm gonna try to hold it together but if you disrespect me, which is what he just did, I'm not gonna ask him about what he's talking about. When I get close enough, I'm finna show him what I ain't talking about. You understand where I'm coming from? Yeah. Had he said that in my day, they could not.
The Twitter beef between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson is heating.
Teofimo Lopez has reportedly sent shockwaves across the boxing world following what allegedly unfolded at his most recent press conference with Shakur Stevenson. What witnesses say they saw left fans stunned and struggling to process the moment. The tense face-off between the two undefeated stars went far beyond verbal exchanges. According to sources close to the scene, the situation escalated into something physical, catching everyone off guard. There is even talk that footage exists which could completely change the narrative. Multiple attendees claim that during a heated exchange, Teofimo Lopez allegedly made physical contact with Shakur Stevenson in a moment that crossed the line of standard pre-fight theatrics and pushed the rivalry into dangerous territory.
Don't try me.
Nah, I'm just saying, bro, like, you ain't fight a fighter with that kind of style yet to know, like, whether he's, that's all I'm saying.
Don't try me.
You bring a different style to the table.
Reports from those present claim the situation exploded once emotions hit a breaking point. One source allegedly said Teofimo completely lost control. One moment they were exchanging words, and in the next, his hand reportedly made contact with Shakur's face. The room instantly went silent because no one expected things to escalate that far. Since then, the alleged incident has taken over social media, with fans scrambling for footage and demanding clarity on what truly went down between the two elite fighters. That said, the full picture remains murky, as different witnesses are reportedly sharing slightly different accounts of how the confrontation unfolded. But before diving into what allegedly happened in that heated moment, Shakur Stevenson's immediate response has poured even more fuel on an already blazing rivalry.
There you go.
Yeah. He was
real quick, Izzy, you should be in the
seconds after the alleged contact. Shakur Stevenson reportedly made it clear he wasn't about to let the moment pass quietly. According to people who say they saw what happened next, Shakur immediately tried to move toward Teofimo, only to be stopped by security and members from both camps. One individual close to the scene allegedly said Shakur was ready to explode on the spot. He was repeatedly shouting that Teofimo had just made the biggest mistake of his life, while his team had to physically hold him back to keep him from rushing forward.
I'm officially changing my pick. I gotta go T.O. Gotta go T.O., bro. I'm sorry, bro. T.O. just going crazy, bro. He too locked in. His mental is dead. He's like past this. He like, bro, I'm finna run through Shakur. I'm finna knock his ass out. He's not finna make it. He's on it, and I get it. Y'all gonna say he's never gonna be able to touch him, but Shakur has not fought nobody as fucking well-rounded as a great fighter as Teofimo.
This alleged reaction has stunned many, because Shakur Stevenson is usually calm and controlled at press events and almost never lets emotion take over his composure. Boxing insiders are saying that if Teofimo truly did put hands on Shakur, then a serious line was crossed. And this is no longer just pre-fight hype. They believe that moment may have shifted the fight into something deeply personal and far more dangerous, where pride, anger, and revenge could now play a major role once they step into the ring.
He buddy with...
Ain't you gonna beat me?
But I'm saying,
ain't you gonna beat me?
I'm saying it.
That's what we have. If you gonna beat me, what are we talking about? I know what I'm gonna do.
I know what I'm.
The boxing world has been flooded with speculation over whether this alleged moment was real animosity or a calculated move meant to boost pay-per-view interest. What makes it more intriguing is that there were reportedly clear warning signs that the tension between these two had been building to a volatile point well before the press conference ever began. Sources close to the buildup claim that Teofimo Lopez had been making more hostile and aggressive remarks toward Shakur in the days leading up to their face-to-face encounter, suggesting the situation was already close to boiling over.
It's time. I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I hit him.
Sources now claim that Teofimo had privately told people around him things like he was fed up with Shakur acting untouchable, and that he planned to show him what happens when you disrespect him and his family once they were face to face. Those alleged comments made before the press conference suddenly carry much heavier weight if reports of physical contact are true, suggesting this was not just a split-second loss of control. Many boxing analysts believe the tension between Lopez and Stevenson runs far deeper than fans realize, with personal frustrations building for years behind the scenes. Insiders from both camps point to ongoing disputes over promotion decisions, main event status, and overall respect, all of which helped create an explosive atmosphere long before the two fighters ever stepped onto the stage together.
So the question is, does Teofimo have the speed to throw and land with his feet and his hands before Shakur's magical, legendary defensive skills can pick it up and get out the way?
According to people familiar with the talks behind the scenes, there was allegedly a heated moment where Teofimo's father became involved in a verbal exchange with Shakur Stevenson's camp over respect and proper recognition. One insider reportedly said that Teofimo Sr. was going back and forth with Shakur's team about who the real champion is and who truly deserves the credit. And that exchange is when things began turning personal between both sides. The reported involvement of family is said to have added another intense layer to an already tense situation, with pride and reputation becoming central issues as the rivalry escalated. The most controversial part of the entire story centers on what allegedly happened at the exact moment physical contact occurred. Eyewitnesses who claim they had a clear view say the incident took place during what appeared to be a routine face-off for promotional photos. Several sources described similar details, stating that Teofimo and Shakur were standing face-to-face when Lopez suddenly made a movement with his hand. One person who says they were only a few feet away claimed the two were staring each other down for the cameras, while Teofimo was talking quietly under his breath. Shakur responded, and that's when Teofimo's hand allegedly came up and caught Shakur on the side of his face. These claims have not been officially confirmed by video evidence, and it remains unclear whether any cameras captured the exact moment. Still, the number of people sharing nearly identical accounts suggests something serious occurred during that face-off. Fans immediately flooded social media with a mix of anger and excitement, with emotions running high throughout the boxing community. One fan wrote that if Teofimo really put his hands on Shakur at a press event, the fight instantly became must-watch, calling the disrespect outrageous and predicting Shakur would make him pay. Another fan expressed doubt, saying it sounded like manufactured promotion designed to boost ticket sales for a fight that wasn't generating enough hype. Supporters from both sides passionately defended their fighter, using past behavior and personality traits to justify their beliefs. One outspoken Teofimo supporter commented that Teo doesn't play games and that if Shakur disrespected his family, he had every right to check him, calling it standing up for himself rather than disrespect. This split reaction perfectly reflects the larger debate about whether the alleged incident was justified or completely unprofessional. The timing has also raised serious questions, especially since it reportedly happened so close to the actual fight date, during a promotional event meant to build positive momentum for their January 31st showdown at Madison Square Garden.
I don't think none of these dudes is on my level when I'm at my best, so he got a lot to deal with come January 31st.
So without giving up too much, when you look at him as a professional and you see what he's done, the fights he's fought, his style, what is it about him that you are going to exploit?
I think he the truth. He do a lot of things well. I think he flashy.
Many people watching closely find it questionable that such an intense moment would unfold at this exact point in the promotion, when buzz around the fight clearly needed a spark. Opinions from within boxing circles are reportedly split, with some insiders suggesting this incident may end up being a blessing for pay-per-view numbers. Individuals close to the promotional side have allegedly said that internal conversations began almost immediately about how to manage the fallout and whether tighter security measures would be required going forward. One promoter who asked to remain unnamed reportedly said that some people behind the scenes were actually pleased when they heard what happened, believing that controversy drives interest and that genuine hostility is exactly what pulls casual fans into buying fights. At the same time, other figures in the boxing business have allegedly raised concerns that the situation could spiral out of control if future promotional events are not handled carefully. The possible fallout from this alleged physical moment goes far beyond hype and could carry serious consequences for both fighters. Athletic Commission rules generally forbid any physical confrontation during the promotional window before an officially sanctioned bout. If the alleged contact is confirmed and ruled a violation of pre-fight conduct policies, Teofimo Lopez could face fines or additional disciplinary action. Legal experts familiar with boxing regulations have reportedly said that any punishment would depend entirely on how the commission interprets what happened. One attorney who focuses on fighter conduct allegedly explained that if the contact was an open hand during a heated exchange, it could be viewed as minor misconduct. But if it is considered an intentional strike meant to cause harm, the violation becomes far more serious. These legal angles add another layer to an already complex situation, and both camps are reportedly being extremely cautious with their public comments. What makes this story even more compelling is what Lopez's team is allegedly saying behind closed doors compared to what they are presenting publicly. According to sources who claim knowledge of internal discussions, Teofimo's camp is reportedly standing firmly behind his actions, viewing them as a justified reaction to provocation rather than an unprovoked incident.
Did Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beat Shakur? Yeah. You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers. So does Teo. They both hate what each other are. Shakur looks great against volume punchers. De Los Santos sitting back and not being active, Shakur doesn't look good.
Sources close to Teofimo allegedly claim that Shakur crossed a serious line during the face-off by making an extremely disrespectful comment about Lopez's family, something they believe demanded an instant reaction. One member of Team Lopez allegedly said, "You can criticize Teo as a fighter all you want, but once you involve his family and make it personal, there will be consequences." According to them, Shakur found that out in real time. This explanation has connected with some fans who feel there are boundaries that should never be crossed, even in the name of promotion. On the other side, supporters of Shakur have pushed back strongly, arguing that no words, no matter how offensive, ever justify physical contact at a professional event. In the aftermath, this alleged incident has reportedly caused major complications for organizers as they attempt to plan future promotional appearances and maintain control over an already tense situation.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you and he wants to counterpunch. He's going to have to be a different guy.
Sources indicate that security measures for the upcoming press conference have allegedly been completely revamped to make sure the fighters cannot get close enough to each other to engage physically. Promotional teams are reportedly debating whether future face-offs should include a physical barrier or additional security staff to keep the situation under control. One event coordinator allegedly said, "We can't risk anything after what allegedly went down." If these two actually clash before fight night, it could threaten the entire event and cost everyone millions. These precautions highlight the serious financial and logistical stakes of letting personal rivalries spill over from verbal exchanges into real-world conflict.
Very good offensive fighter. The difference between the two, for me, I think that Teofimo might be a little bit stronger of the two. But, speed can sometimes nullify power.
As news of the alleged confrontation spreads across the boxing world, reactions from fellow fighters have been captivating. Several active boxers have allegedly shared their opinions on social media about whether Teofimo Lopez's alleged behavior was justified or completely inappropriate for a professional athlete. Some fighters allegedly backed Lopez for defending himself, while others criticized any physical contact outside the ring as reckless and unprofessional. Retired champions who faced similar pre-fight rivalries allegedly weighed in, offering insight from their own experiences. One former fighter allegedly remarked, "I understand the emotions and heat of the moment, but you have to be smarter. Save it for fight night, when you can legally inflict damage and get paid for it."
How I see this fight being played out is with me pretty much setting that momentum for the people out there as well. You know, not really trying to force for it. However, I can't be too technical with Shakur. You got to make it a little ugly. You got to make it a little ugly. If you try to be too technical with Shakur, it could be too long of a waited challenge.
This season perspective underscores the professional risks at play and why experienced fighters are taught to direct their aggression in the right way. The alleged confrontation has also ignited wider discussions about where the boundary lies between genuine rivalry and staged drama in today's boxing promotions. Fans and media figures are allegedly debating whether the sport truly gains from this type of real tension, or if it creates a risky standard for future promotional events.
Keep it a buck with you. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, this is not going to be a close fight at all. Like, I don't think you guys understand just how good Shakur is. He is one of the best 135-pounders on the planet. In fact, I actually have him as the best 135-pounder on the planet. I don't think that Teofimo Lopez has the fight IQ to close the distance. I don't think he's going to be able to land the shots. I think that Shakur is going to be on the back foot, jabbing, doing what he usually does his way to.
Some contend that real animosity produces the most gripping storylines and boosts pay-per-view sales, while others express concern about fighters sustaining injuries before the bout. Boxing historians have allegedly cited past pre-fight incidents that either enhanced or hindered the main event, showing mixed outcomes. As both camps allegedly navigate the aftermath of this confrontation, the biggest question is whether it will influence the actual fight on January 31st. Many analysts believe that if the alleged contact truly happened, it could profoundly affect the mindset and dynamics of their upcoming clash in the ring.
People describe what Shakur does is the same thing that people used to describe as what Floyd Mayweather did, right? People called him a runner, a track star, this and that. Now he's acknowledged as one of the greatest fighters of all time. And I think it's going to be the same thing here with Shakur Stevenson. I think we're going to see the level of dominance, the level of fight IQ, and I think that the only way that Teo wins this fight is if he's able to get into an exchange with Shakur, where Shakur's ego...
Boxers who perceive disrespect or humiliation often enter bouts with altered mental states, which can result in heightened aggression or riskier choices. Sports psychologists familiar with combat athletes have allegedly noted that such personal animosity can either intensify a fighter's concentration or lead them to stray from their planned strategy.
Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson.
I like both guys, honestly. I like both guys. Teofimo, he's funny, he's got character, but he's a great fighter. He's very athletic. He comes from awkward angles, and I do like his style, but I study boxing.
The unpredictable factor in all of this is how each competitor internalizes the alleged events and whether it provides a mental advantage for fight night. One thing that appears clear is that attention on the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson matchup has reportedly surged since word of the incident surfaced.
The difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think y'all did either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You never been on a big stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
You never been on a big.
Ticket demand for the Madison Square Garden has reportedly skyrocketed, and online buzz surrounding the fight has reached levels promoters could only imagine. Whether this alleged clash was a spontaneous flare-up or a calculated marketing move, it has undeniably made the matchup feel like unmissable television. As January 31st approaches, the boxing community will be watching closely to see if any further confrontations occur or if both camps can maintain professional boundaries. For now, fans are left to speculate about what truly happened at the press conference and whether the alleged altercation will fuel even greater intensity once these two finally meet in the ring.
Lands his jab when he wants to. Jab to the body, bang, right there. He landed the jab up top a few times, where Shakur is just posturing. This makes for a very boring fight. What y'all think? Let me know.
And that wraps up today's coverage. For the latest updates on news, highlights, events, and everything happening in the boxing world, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our top quality content. Until next time, stay tuned and take care.